The world is full of incredible places, but unfortunately for you and me, not all of them are open for a visit. I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 forbidden places on Earth you can never visit. 25. St. Mary of Zion Cathedral, Ethiopia. The Ark of the Covenant was built around 3,000 years ago and housed the stone tablets inscribed with the Ten Commandments. But after the Babylonian Empire conquered the Israelites, the Ark vanished from history. Was it destroyed, stolen, or hidden away? Nobody knows for sure. According to Ethiopian tradition, the Ark can be found at the Chapel of the Ark in St. Mary of Zion Cathedral in Aksum. Only one man, a monk assigned as its guardian, is allowed to see it. It might be nothing more than a replica, but since nobody else is permitted inside the chapel, we'll never know. 24. White's Club, United Kingdom. White's is London's oldest and most exclusive gentlemen's club. It started out as a hot chocolate shop and slowly transformed into a private club for the elite, becoming quite famous for its betting book, where members recorded a few truly bizarre wagers. The most ridiculous, a 3,000-pound bet on which of two raindrops would slide down a window first. So, why is it on our list? First off, women are completely excluded. That's 50% of you out already. And second, men can only join if they're invited by a sitting member and backed by two others. So, unless you're royalty or incredibly influential, you're not getting in, making White's as exclusive as it gets. But if there are any members who want to invite me in, I'd take a look and see what it's all about. Although I'd be more happy to join Club 33 at Disney. So if anyone at Club 33 in Disney wants to bring me along, let's go. 23. Surtsey, Iceland. Surtsey is a volcanic island off the southern coast of Iceland and is one of the youngest islands on Earth. It was named after Surtur, the Norse fire god, and came into existence in 1963 after a volcanic eruption. The explosion was so massive that it actually sent ash columns 30,000 feet into the air. In a few years, the volcano grew the island up to about 500 feet above sea level. Today, Surtsey is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is off limits to almost everyone but a select group of scientists who use it to study how plants and animals colonize new land. 22. The Tomb of Qin Shi Huang, China. The tomb of China's first emperor Qin Shi Huang has been sealed for over 2 millennia and was accidentally discovered in 1974 when farmers were digging a well and unearthed a life-size terracotta soldier. What they didn't know was that this single statue was just one of thousands buried at the site. Since then, archaeologists have uncovered around 2,000, but the central tomb itself, the resting place of Qin Shi Huang, remains untouched. Access to the tomb is tightly controlled by Chinese authorities, and they alone will decide if it's ever open to the outside world. 21. Niihau, Hawaii. Niihau's nickname is the Forbidden Island, and it definitely lives up to it. The Robinson family, who bought the island back in 1864, decided to ban outsiders, and they've stuck to their guns ever since. This 72 square mile slice of paradise, just 18 miles from Kauai, is home to about 130 native Niihauans, the Robinson family, and a bunch of endangered species. Over the years, plenty of people have begged to visit, and to give you an idea of their resolve, even Mick Jagger got turned away. Unless you have a personal invite from the Robinsons, you're not getting in. And if any Robinsons are watching, I might do this a lot this video, just be warned. 20. The Red Zone, France. France isn't all quaint villages and rolling green hills. There's a no-go zone called the Zone Rouge, or Red Zone, near Verdun that's been off limits for almost 100 years. Before the First World War, the area was mostly farmland, but thousands of artillery shells hit the area, in the process destroying trees, flattening towns, and ruining the land. When the war ended in 1918, the French government decided it was beyond saving. Villagers were relocated, and the entire area was abandoned, with unexploded shells and munitions left where they fell. Authorities are slowly working to clear the land, but at this rate, it'll take centuries, or it might never happen at all. 19. Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center, USA. This is one place that's not only off limits to the public, but also somewhere you'd hope to never end up. In most end-of-the-world movies, there's always a highly classified bunker where government officials and a select few escape impending doom. Mount Weather? is the real deal. Set up in the 50s during the Cold War, it continues to operate today as a last hope facility. Run by FEMA, the center's operations are highly classified, for obvious reasons. 18. Ilha de Queimada Grande, Snake Island, Brazil. Have you ever heard of Snake Island? Located about 150 kilometers or 93 miles off the coast of Brazil, trust me, the name isn't just for show. Humans are completely banned from stepping foot here, and for good reason. The island is home to the golden lancehead, a pit viper that's one of the deadliest snakes in the world. They grow over 1.5 feet long, and their venom is so powerful that it can kill a human in less than an hour. Oh, and there's somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000 of them on the island. That's roughly one snake per square foot. 17. United States Bullion Depository, Fort Knox, USA. Fort Knox is one of the US's best-kept mysteries. Located just 30 miles southwest of Louisville, it's said to hold 4,582 metric tons of gold, worth over $175 billion. Or so we think. Very few people have ever been inside to confirm it. Built in 1936, the vault sits on a massive 109,000-acre U.S. Army post. Back then, trains carrying gold were guarded by machine gunners and escorted by cavalry brigades before being transferred to army trucks. And here's a fun fact, Fort Knox isn't just for gold. During World War II, it even safeguarded priceless items like the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights. Today, the exact contents and operations of Fort Knox remain top secret. 16. Vatican Apostolic Archives, Vatican City. With 52 miles or 84 kilometers of shelving, the Vatican archives are massive. Just the selective catalog alone holds 35,000 volumes. And let me clear up a common misconception. They aren't exactly secret, despite the name. Researchers and academics with the right credentials can access almost any document they want, but they're not allowed to physically enter the archive. Instead, they must submit a request for the document they need, and if approved, it's provided to them. The only documents off limits are those less than 75 years old to protect sensitive diplomatic and governmental information. So while you can't wander through the stacks yourself, there's plenty of history to uncover, if you meet the criteria. 15. Bohemian Grove, USA. Every July, a group of the world's wealthiest and most powerful men gather at a 2,700-acre campground in Monterey, California for 2 weeks of private meetings, drinks, and who knows what else. The secretive retreat is known as Bohemian Grove, and joining the Bohemian Club isn't easy. Membership requires an invitation or surviving a decades-long wait list. Oh, and there's a $25,000 initiation fee, plus annual dues. The club currently has about 2,500 members, many of whom spend their summers at the Grove's 118 camps, man-made lake, and towering owl shrine. Past members include Gerald Ford, Clint Eastwood, Bing Crosby, Ronald Reagan, and George W. Bush. 14. Metro 2, Russia. Okay, here's one for conspiracy lovers. Metro 2 is an underground metro system that might exist, or might not. According to the rumors, it's a secret metro line in Moscow that was built during Stalin's time and codenamed D6 by the KGB. Now here's the thing. It keeps popping up in the media because nobody will confirm or deny its existence. Not the FSB, not the Moscow Metro Administration. It's like an open secret that no one's willing to address. If the rumors are true, however, Metro 2 runs deeper than the public metro, has 4 lines, and connects places like the Kremlin, the FSB headquarters, a government airport, and an underground town at Ramenki. 13. Diego Garcia, British Indian Ocean Territory. Between 1968 and 1973, the British and the US governments forcibly removed the local population of Diego Garcia, relocating them to Mauritius and Seychelles to make way for an American military base. As if that wasn't enough, rumors suggest the island was then used in CIA rendition programs, where people were kidnapped and tortured in secret prisons. In 2005, British Foreign Secretary Jack Straw denied the allegations. But 3 years later, the government admitted that 2 CIA torture flights had landed there, though conveniently most of the related documents were destroyed by water damage. Today, Diego Garcia remains completely off limits. 12. Lascaux Cave, France. The world-famous Lascaux Cave near Montignac, France is home to some of the oldest and most remarkable art in the world. cave paintings, over 17,000 years old. Discovered in 1940, the site quickly became a popular attraction, with thousands visiting daily. But all that extra carbon dioxide from visitors' breaths caused mold and fungus to grow, threatening the ancient artwork. By 1963, the cave was permanently closed to protect it. Today, even scientists and experts are rarely allowed inside. 11. Svalbard Global Seed Vault, Norway. Tucked 100 meters or 330 feet inside a mountain, Norway's Svalbard Global Seed Vault is often called the Noah's Ark of plant diversity because it stores over 1 million seeds from around the world to reboot our food supply in case of an apocalypse. This thing is built to survive just about anything. Nuclear attacks, asteroid impacts, you name it. There was a minor mishap in 2017 when the access tunnel was flooded by melting permafrost, but the seeds were fine. Since then, Norway has spent millions upgrading the vault, which can actually store more than 2.5 billion seeds. 10. Wittenoom, Australia. It took us a while to figure out, but asbestos is really bad for you. It causes mesothelioma, deadly and hard to pronounce, and has been removed from just about everywhere it's been found. Back in the 60s, Wittenoom was Australia's largest producer of blue asbestos. However, as the dangers became clear in the late 70s, the government began phasing the town out. By 2013, it was officially closed due to toxic contamination, and by 2015, Wittenoom was erased from government services. In other words, the government basically said, this town doesn't exist anymore. Most residents got the message and left, but a few held on. By 2022, however, there were no remaining residents, and in May 2023, demolition of the remaining structures began. 9. 404 City, China. This massive secret city was wiped off the maps and hidden from the world. Known as 404 City, it was constructed in 1954 on the edge of the Gobi Desert in Gansu Province and played a key role in China's journey to becoming a nuclear power. Some experts believe that the city might have housed up to 1 million people in its heyday, while others place it closer to 100,000. With China's population exceeding 600 million at the time, a higher number might be possible, but it's unlikely that China will ever confirm the true number. Today, 404 City is abandoned and access is strictly forbidden. 8. North Sentinel Island, India. The Sentinelese people of North Sentinel Island are one of the last isolated indigenous groups in the world. Known for their fierce hostility to outsiders, estimates suggest there are around 50 to 150 people on the island, and their language is completely unknown to anyone outside their community. In the early 90s, Indian anthropologists attempted contact by offering coconuts and other gifts. While the Sentinelese cautiously accepted them, they made it clear they weren't interested in anything more, and their stance hasn't softened over time. In 2018, an American missionary named John Allen Chow was killed by the tribe after he illegally tried to approach them. Today, the Indian government enforces strict protections, making it illegal to come within 5 kilometers of the island. I don't want an invitation there, so Sentinelese people, if you're watching this channel, you're probably not. That's not what I want an invitation to. 7. Area 51, USA. Well, this wouldn't be a list of forbidden places without everyone's favorite, Area 51. Located in Lincoln County, Nevada, this highly secretive U.S. Air Force facility has been the subject of wild speculation for decades. Officially acknowledged in 2013, its primary purpose remains classified, though it's widely believed to be a testing site for advanced aircraft and technologies. That hasn't stopped conspiracy theories from flourishing. From reverse engineering alien spacecraft to developing exotic weapons, whatever they're doing is clearly worth the armed military personnel, motion sensors, cameras, and warning signs. 6. Mir Mine, Russia. The Mir Mine, also known as the Mir Mine diamond mine, is one of the largest man-made holes in the world. It is absolutely massive. Located in eastern Siberia, this pit is 17,000 feet or 520 meters deep and nearly 4,000 feet or 1.2 kilometers wide, making it the second largest hole of its kind. The diamond-rich deposit was discovered in 1955, and Stalin himself ordered its development to meet the Soviet Union's growing demand for diamonds. What's absolutely crazy is that the airspace above the mine is supposedly off limits to helicopters because of rumors that they could get sucked in by air currents. And as for visiting, forget it. The entire town is strictly off limits to outsiders. 5. Room 39, North Korea. Room 39, also known as Bureau 39, is one of the most secretive organizations in North Korea. Established in the late 70s, it's believed to be the backbone of the Kim family's so-called court economy and is tasked with generating foreign currency at all costs. The group is believed to control up to 120 foreign trade companies, operating everything from legitimate businesses to illicit activities like counterfeiting, money laundering, and drug smuggling. It's even rumored that they have secret bank accounts in China and Switzerland to move dirty money. North Korea denies any wrongdoings, of course, but whatever they're doing is totally off limits to the outside world. 4. Poveglia Island, Italy. Poveglia Island, just off the coast of Venice, was a quarantine station for plague victims from 1793 to 1814. Over 160,000 people died there, and mass plague pits remain scattered across the island. That's already grim in and of itself, but in 1922 things got even darker when a mental hospital opened where patients suffered every kind of abuse for years. The hospital finally shut down in 1968. Today, Poveglia is off limits to the public. Just stepping onto the island could land you in serious trouble. But with soil rumored to contain human remains, it's not exactly a place you'd want to linger anyway. And if you are curious, they absolutely did a Ghost Adventures episode on that one. I remember that. Zach wore a plague doctor's mask. Interesting episode. Check that out if you really want to see more about Poveglia Island. 3. Mezhgorye, Russia. The town of Mezhgorye was built in 1979 and is believed to house the workers connected to the ultra-secretive Mount Yamantau project. The US has long suspected it's hiding a massive secret, maybe a nuclear facility, a bunker for leaders, or both. During the 90s, major excavations took place at the site and 2 military garrisons were built there, both housing 30,000 workers, which only added to the intrigue. Russian authorities have provided various explanations for the activities at Mount Yamantau, including mining operations, a repository for national treasures, and even a food storage facility. But their statements have done little to dispel the mystery surrounding the site. 2. Ise Grand Shrine, Japan. The Ise Grand Shrine in Japan, dating back to 4 BCE, is the country's most sacred site. Its inner shrine, Niihau, is said to house Japan's most important artifact, a sacred mirror from mythology passed down to the first emperors. In keeping with Shinto beliefs about death and rebirth, the shrine is torn down and rebuilt every 20 years, with the most recent reconstruction completed in 2013 and the next scheduled for 2033. Access is reserved for a select few. Only the chief priest or priestess, who must belong to the Japanese imperial family, can enter the main shrine. Everyone else is left to admire the thatched roof from a respectful distance. 1. The Anthrax Islands. That title says it all. If the name Anthrax Island doesn't scare you off, it really should. There are 3 of these islands in different parts of the world, used by the US, the United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union to test a range of biological weapons, anthrax being one of them. Grande Island off Scotland's coast was Britain's testing ground during World War II. The contamination here was so severe that it remained uninhabitable until the late 20th century. Then there's Vozrojdenia Island, once in the Aral Sea. Cleanup efforts were abandoned after the USSR collapsed, and while parts have been decontaminated, digging up the soil is still a terrible idea. Lastly, the US had Plum Island off of New York's coast, home to the Plum Island Animal Disease Center. Before selling the land, the government had to conduct environmental studies to assess just how contaminated it was. In short, these islands are as dangerous as they sound, and are the embodiment of places you can and should never, ever visit. And that's a wrap. But before you go, how about a quick trivia question? How many miles of shelving does the Vatican Apostolic Archives contain? Was it A, 25 miles, B, 52 miles, C, 84 miles, or D, 100 miles? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's list and want more fascinating content, check out our related video, 25 customs that are common in other nations. From leftover socks to stolen shoes, and even a wild tradition involving children's teeth, you'll love it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content, and I will catch you next time. Also, if you totally can get me into Club 33 at Disney, I would love you forever. email me, mike@list25.com. I'll see you guys later.